What's up, everybody? My name's Ty. This is Jordan Garside, and we are BettrNation, and we are going live to talk about college football. We're in week 4, and we got some great matchups this week. And something that we like to do for our Skool members is send out a list of positive EV plays for the week. We try to get these out early because, as you know, we want to get you these mispriced lines before the market responds. And so that's why Jordan has taken these predictive analytics from ESPN Analytics and plugged them into a spreadsheet, and it spits out which games and teams provide positive EV. And Jordan is going to explain this spreadsheet for you and explain briefly what positive EV even means. And then we're going to go dive into some specific games. And then we're also going to update some lines from 9/16 to 9/17 just to show you how quickly these lines change from day to day leading up to kickoff. Without further ado, Jordan, I'm going to share my screen. You can kind of walk us through the spreadsheet of yours again.
Awesome. Thanks, Ty. And everyone, it's a pleasure to be with you tonight, and we'll just kind of walk through this quickly. Again, the intention, not only just behind this, but behind what we're doing at BettrNation, is really to just simplify the sports betting landscape for you and also help you digest all of the most helpful resources in the marketplace, really to be kind of that first step and partner with you on your betting journey. So one way we do that, as Ty mentioned, is we take all of the ESPN analytics, which if you are like us and you're a sports fan, you probably watch ESPN too much. You see these analytics, at the bottom of the screen, they talk about it, and they also post it. And one way we try to be helpful is we take that information, we convert it, and we take the lines in the market at the time. We also convert that into actionable information for you. So as a quick reminder, and we encourage you to take our training camp course, which is on Skool, and also go through the training camp handout, which is kind of in that classroom. As a reminder for what positive EV actually is, basically what a positive EV situation is that over time, if you were to play this thing out, that play would give you money back over time. So to give you like a simple example, if I approached you and said, hey, like, let's just flip a coin. If it's heads, I'll pay you $20. If it's tails, you pay me 10. And because if you flip a coin enough, it's going to be 50-50, you probably quickly realize that you would take that deal every day because the expected value for you would be higher because I'm paying you $20 and you only pay me 10. So in a nutshell, that's what positive EV is. But in this context, it's as it relates to sports betting. So kind of walking through the spreadsheet and the upshot of all of this is that let's look at the contest for Thursday night. You have App State and South Alabama. We took the odds as of 9/16, plugged it in for you. And we also plugged in the ESPN predictive analytics numbers. So you can see that in column D. And then what we did for columns E and F is column E is the implied probability that the market is giving vis-a-vis or by virtue of the money line odds. So we take the money line odds and we convert that into the implied probability. But the reason that we take the next step for column F is because the implied probability actually includes the fee that the sportsbook charges to take your bet. And to compare apples to apples, we want to compare what the ESPN predictive analytics number is in column D to the implied probability without that sportsbook fee included, just so you can kind of understand what the market is pricing the probability at and what ESPN is saying. So if you look at that contest, there's a pretty significant difference between column F for South Alabama. The market is saying South Alabama has a 31% chance to win that game. ESPN predictive analytics is saying there's closer to a 47% chance. And if you work all this out by factoring in the payouts, if you can see column F to M, I hid all of the guts of that equation for you just so you can see what matters. There's a positive EV play in the amount of 40% for South Alabama using those moneyline odds as of 9/16. And we do this all throughout for every contest. Some contests, so if you look in the OSU and Marshall game for Ohio State in row 18 and 19, sometimes the moneyline odds aren't available. So we just flag that for you. So that's a quick overview of like what the spreadsheet is doing. And then Ty, I'll turn it to you if you want to talk about how you implement some of these insights.
as you can see, I've already written on the side in column N, spread play or money line or spread. And what I'm doing here is simply just marking specific games that I think I might want to place a wager on based on the EV percentage. So, for example, this App State game on the 19th, what I may do is take the spread play for the underdog. I might not take just a straight up money line play. However, like with a game like Florida, Mississippi State, I don't believe that Florida has a 66% chance of winning this game. I don't even know that they have a 52% chance of winning this game. I think it's less than that. I think they're absolutely trash. So I would probably take Mississippi State money line. Definitely would take the spread. Like, I'm definitely wagering on this game. That's just kind of how my brain is working. I know that Jordan and I both flagged. Let me scroll down to it. But the Oklahoma State Utah, that is probably what both of us think is the best bet of the weekend, which is taking Oklahoma State, which is currently the underdog. And I don't know that they'll be an underdog for long. I went ahead and took those odds. This is actually updated odds from my sports book, which is Hard Rock Bet. I'm in Florida, so that's all I can use. But this was the updated odds. This actually wasn't even the odds as of the 16th. This is already changing. Just as a reminder, these lines rapidly change based on the market. So I just want to show you a quick example of that. So I marked one right here, which is Liberty and ECU, to just update it. So as of the 16th, when Jordan plugged these in, these were the lines. If I go to Hard Rock right now and I'm pulling up my phone and I go to plug in the lines, it went from 230 to 190 and minus 280 to minus 250. What I'd like to point out is if you would have taken ECU as of the 16th, you would have even had more favorable odds than you do now. And you're probably going to have less favorable odds come Thursday, Friday than you do now based on what the way the market's shifting. Jordan, do you want to add some color to that or shed some light on that?
Yeah. So I'll share a few things to kind of follow up with some of the things you said. As it relates to this, as Ty mentioned, we really want to get these lines to you early in the week, in part because in our experience, often the market actually responds toward the direction that ESPN Analytics is showing. And then not that that's intentional, but like the market is acknowledging that like there's a shift and that often ESPN Analytics is closer to where the market lands. And that's not true in every case. Sometimes ESPN is off and the market actually goes even stronger in the other direction, right? So you want to be discerning and kind of which plays that you like. But one way that you can really identify the value that you have in these lines is when we talk about this in the training camp, compare the line that you get. So for example, if Ty secures the ECU at 190 now to the closing line value or the CLV at the time of kickoff, because that will show you if ECU, let's say, finishes at 150, that shows you that you got a good price. And so to use the analogy that we use in the training camp is that let's say these are retail stores selling you goods. That means that you got a really good discount. Like you got that good at a very good value. So Ty getting ECU at 190 as opposed to 150, what that actually means is that he gets a higher payout, right? So he got a better price for that particular outcome. Assuming you believe ESPN Analytics or you trust ESPN Analytics, and again, sometimes you may have reasons for disagreeing. Sometimes the market may be right, but let's say you generally agree with ESPN Analytics and you want to try to tail those insights. As Ty mentioned, there's different ways you can do that. And what this spreadsheet does is it flags like the mispriced opportunities, And because there's a correlation often between the spread, so how many points are given or taken away from a team, and the money line, you can use either spread plays, or what I like to do is alternate spread plays. So often if I see a game that I like, I'll give another 5, 6, 7 points, and I know that reduces my payout because I'm reducing my risk by increasing the spread. But what I do is, like, I'll tie 2, 3, 4 of those plays together, to try to kind of compensate for the lower payout via the parlay. But the main point being, like, there's different ways that you can actually use this information, when you decide to make your own bets. So I tend to, like, there are games or there are teams I don't touch. So I play football at Wake. I don't touch Wake Forest because I'm biased. Like, I have a hard time, well, I won't go into the pains of being a Wake Forest fan sometimes, but, like, I don't touch them because I know I can't properly, like, assess those games. Same thing for Georgia Tech. My brother played there, and even for Florida. Like, I grew up in Florida, and I'm grew up a Gator fan. So I tend to not touch those teams where I know that I have a bias one way or the other. I really try to isolate and focus on where I have, like, high conviction for a handful of bets. So what I don't do is I don't take this list and just follow all of the green opportunities. I'll think about it. I'll analyze it. This will be my starting place, and then I'll go do my research. I'll see what some other platforms are saying, and then I'll make a decision. But I don't just kind of blindly follow it.
I think you said it perfectly. This is the starting point. This isn't the end all be all. We don't want you to blindly follow this. We want you to do your own research. But hopefully this takes some of the work out for you and gives you a easier, more consumable way to start betting better. And we hope that you can use this, and we hope that you'll invite your friends and everyone can join our Skool community. You can take our training camp and learn even more about it, become even more of an informed and better. So thank you again for joining us on this live session. Share this with a friend, like, subscribe. We're going to be sharing a lot more of these in the coming weeks. But until then, thanks, everybody.